Salem's Lot was King's second novel he ever got published, not
also,
written, mind you.
Also my favorite horror novel of all time.
Really? Salem's Lot.
Yeah, okay. And I probably watch the original miniseries directed by Tobe Hooper like once a year. Did I ever tell you guys my Salem's Lot story?
What, say it again?
Did I ever tell you guys my Salem's Lot story?
No. Everyone sit back.
Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so are you guys familiar with UIL prose interpretation or dramatic reading, like in high school? Yep. When you go, like a bunch of high schoolers, they all get together and they pick, some sort of story. It's like 5 minutes, and they get up in front of a classroom and they dramatically read it. And a bunch of adult judges, rank them. Okay, delivery, et cetera, et cetera. Here's how you did. Oh, this is great. This is awesome. And this was bad. And so I did that in high school, and I loved it. I was pretty good at it. It was my favorite thing. But everyone was always reading like Mark Twain and Henry Miller and blah 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 blah.
Nerds.
I was like, and sometimes they would do like the most risque things that people would do was what is it? Telltale Heart.
Okay, sure.
And,
I mean, that's
so
fun,
I was like,
but sure.
Yeah, I was like, everybody does the same thing. I'm gonna do Salem's Lot. That's
as your theatrical performance.
Yeah.
What did you play? How did you do that?
I did
turn that into
it was one man show.
No, you just read. It wasn't theatrical. You're just reading prose.
Was it a musical?
No. Although I'm working on one.
Did you do the main accent?
Yeah, but it was the scene where Barlow, the vampire, and Straker are in the kitchen, and they kill the kid's parents, and the priest is there, and Barlow is like, "Come, shaman, test my faith against yours," and he turns Father Callahan into the vampire and all that. It's a really great scene. It's fantastic. I didn't tell my coach what I was going to do. I told her I was doing Mark Twain. Yeah. And so I get in there and I fucking destroy. And I'm 17, right? So long hair, black suit.
Where are those pictures? Where are those?
I want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
These are the things Stephen King still lives for, that and the blood of young children. But
yeah. So I get in there and I'm reading this and I get and I had won. And after a couple of meetings, or a couple of these competitions, I won first like 3 or 4 times, and I got the gold and everything. And my coach brought me in, and she was like, "I hear you're doing a Stephen King short story." I was like, "Yeah," and I got the gold. And you didn't even coach me. She's like, "Well, what about Mark Twain?" I was like, "Well, I didn't win with Mark Twain. I won with vampires." And she was mad at me, and she kept telling me to stop, but I kept winning. And so finally she was like, "All right, just keep doing it. Fine." And I wasn't goth. I was a nerd. Surprise.
You can be a goth nerd. Like,
I wasn't though. I was just a nerd. It was just a nerd, full stop. And so, and this was in West Texas in the 90s, right? Small towns and everything. So I went to this one competition. I got all the way to the finals, and I'm in there. And there was this one kid that I kind of knew from a different school, and he was a strange kid. I think he had some mental issues. He was the kind of kid who would wear like a really heavy coat in the middle of the summer and like walk around town muttering to himself.
Did he have fingerless gloves?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen anyone like that.
It was Chris.
This is Chris Vampire Cox. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Was literally my nickname in high school.
Yeah, and so we get into the finals, and I do my piece, and I nailed it. And I felt so good about it. And I go sit down, and this kid, we'll call him Tom. We'll call him Tom. So Tom,
fuck you, Tom, wherever you are.
Sorry. Yeah, there's a coda to this. So Tom gets up there, and Tom's really good too. He was competing against me. Tom starts to read Great Expectations, but he's totally screwing it up. He's stuttering, and he can't even get through his intro. He's like, oh, and that's just what kids do. And I'm like, the whole classroom, all these adults and everything, they're looking around and they're going, what? And I'm like, what is this part of his thing? Is this it? Oh, he's speaking in tongues.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. He went full glossolalia right there in the front of the class.
Is that
I remember
Aramaic?
that portion of Great Expectations.
Yeah, right. It's like the Dickens extended cut. He and so he does this for like a full minute, and finally his coach is like, "Oh, I gotta step in." And so she just takes him and very kindly leads him out of the room into a separate classroom. One of my buddies, nice guy, goes in there with Tom and sits down and says, "Hey, Tom, you okay?" And he's catatonic for an hour. For an hour. And he's sitting there, and after she leads him out, everybody else is like, okay, well, would the next participant like to go up and read theirs? And how can they follow somebody speaking in tongues, right? And so he's catatonic for an hour in this classroom, and my buddy's in there with him, like giving him water, sitting in front, and he's just sitting there just. And then finally he goes, like he snaps out of his fugue state. And they're like, "Hey man, what happened?" And he goes, I don't know, just Murphy really scared me. He freaked me out. Yeah. And then I've got adults coming up to me. The judges coming up to me afterwards going, did you place a curse on that young man? like legitimately asking if I had practiced black magic. And I just said, no, because that's not real.
Come on, you are from Midian, right?
Yeah. And so I was
Midland. Sorry, Midland.
Oh, yeah. Same thing.
God damn.
Real similar. And so this kid, he, and I was always nice to this guy. I was like one of the few people who were nice to him. So years later, here's the code. Years later, my buddy tracks him down on Facebook. Okay. Tom has been self-publishing books about high school bullies and tormentors and everything. And the cover of his book has the bad guy on it. No. And I was like, dude, that's me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's me.
Well,
and he drew a picture of me.
Oh my God. Is that not on your mantle behind you? Like, how do you have Star Wars but not that?
Dude, put it on my mantle. I nearly changed my name because this story is ostensibly about him getting revenge on this evil bully who's into Satan.
Yeah, embrace it.
This doesn't sound like
get
it
it
at
on your
all.
mantle.
So Salem's Lot is pretty cool.
Fair.
Thank you for indulging me. I love telling that story.
No, that's a great story.
Honestly, tell us, send us a tweet to Stephen King. I swear to God, he will probably send you a signed copy.
I mean, because your stories are so good, I thought about introducing you as Jason Ramming Speed Murphy. One of my favorite stories by you ever.